What's up, everybody? My name is Darren. Many of you know me as Notorious. Um, Generally, I've always done my media surrounding league gaming with the online hockey league. Um, I've kind of gone off of that. I haven't really done any media in a couple of years, or a couple seasons, I should, not years, seasons. And I got this new idea. I've met a group of people here through Facebook that have similar interests as me, and that's the Funko Pop figures. Um, and one guy in particular, Arnell Cruz, also known as Uncle Funko, he's um he's doing his own little thing, and I was like, you know what, I'd like to do something like that too. But I'm not gonna do what he does, which he does videos of his purchases and unboxings and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do that. It's not my thing. But what I will do, and what I do enjoy doing, is just going off. So what I'm doing here is new little show I'm gonna do here. Be a couple minutes long every so often when I do it, and I'm calling it "Poppin' Off" with Notorious. You like that, eh? Clever, popping off. Yeah, I thought so. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna find things that annoy me or that excite me or whatever in regards to pop figure collecting, Funko figure collecting, and I'm gonna talk about them a little bit. Today's uh, today's target is gonna be shipping costs. Um, I started this all about 2013. I bought my first Funko Pop when the Michael Jacksons came out. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Have been since I was a kid. Um, I know you can't tell because I look very youthful, but I am quite old actually. Um, and I was all about Michael Jackson when it wasn't really cool about being about Michael Jackson. So he means a lot to me. So when I found the original ones coming out, I bought all the ones I could find. So I bought three of them, and I just had those. I just took care of them, and I was just like, I didn't think they'd be worth anything. I had no inclination of buying anything else in the future. Um, I just had them, and I like to display them and show them. And then other figures have come out. The Notorious B.I.G. came out. I'm a huge Biggie fan. I started buying those, and over the years I've bought here and there a little bit of this and that. I think I'm up to a total of like 29 Funkos. I'm not on the same level as most of you guys that would be watching this. You guys are mental. I don't know how any of you are married. I don't know how you afford to live in a house, eating. That would be really big on my list. I don't know how you do any of that because it can get expensive. It's not a cheap hobby, especially because Funko puts out about 1,000 pops a year, I think now. I'm sure someone can correct me on that who has the actual figure, but I think I read somewhere it's a large number and it's staggering, right? Like when it started out, I don't think the numbers were quite that high, but they are now. They are now. So yeah, I buy what interests me with things that I think are neat, childhood influences, stuff like that. So Michael Jackson, Notorious B.I.G., Prince. I loved Prince back then. I love the Biebs. It's a good Canadian boy. Hey, hate me, I don't care. Hate me if you want. I'm an old man. I like Justin Bieber. What of it? Sesame Street was big for me as a kid. I love Sesame Street. I watch it all the time. I probably watched it way longer than I should have. Probably watched it when I was like 13 still. I loved it. It was just good stuff. Influential movies and stuff like that. WWE was a big part of my life for a long time too, so I've picked out some characters there that really speak to me. Guys that have Winnipeg connections, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, that kind of stuff. Um, Mick Foley, all-time great, my favorite of all time. So that's the kind of things I buy. But I just want to get onto my little rant here, and that is prices of shipping. Um, Sometimes things just really itch my ass. It's a hair in my ass crack, and it drives me crazy. And I gotta speak on it. If I don't speak on it, it continues to burn a hole in my brain. I don't need any more holes in my brain. I got enough. So if the cost of shipping, and I'm primarily speaking of eBay. You can buy them all kinds of places. Different websites sell them. $7 a pop, pop in a box. Blah, 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 blah. You can buy mystery boxes, and that shit is just way too confusing for me. I ain't got time for it. Ain't nobody got time for that. So what I do is I go on eBay or Kijiji, and I find things that I'm looking for holes to fill and stuff like that. So I understand when I come across a pop that has been out for 3 years, 4 years, whatever, and people want a decent amount of money for it. They're asking $30 or whatever. It's somewhat common, but it's hard to come by, right? Because they've been around so long, and it's still in good condition. I understand paying $30 for a pop. What I can't understand is when you ask me for an additional $30 or $35 for shipping. Now, I come from a history of shipping, and I've done some sales and stuff, and I know what these things cost to ship. They don't weigh much. On average, like I've just gone through my small collection here, and I think the lightest one I found was about 114 grams. Sorry, Americans, I'm speaking grams here. And my heaviest one was about 240 or something like that. And I'm just primarily speaking of the 4-inch pops. I generally only buy the 4-inch. I have a couple of the larger ones because Big Bird and Snuffleupagus, because you gotta have them. But I wouldn't generally buy the larger ones in general. It's bastardized to me. It's outside of what a pop figure, what it is meant to be, which is a small 4-inch figure. Um, so you look at those rates, and even at top line, 240 grams kind of thing, that's half a pound. Sorry, there you go, Americans. I'm helping you out. I'm a nice guy. I'm equal opportunity. And half a pound to ship anywhere, yeah, at least in Canada, I know, it's about $15. Reasonable. Maybe 17 on the high end. Depending on what region of Canada you're in. Like, I'm central, I'm Manitoba here, so it's pretty easy to calculate. Even if you're shipping things to the States, it's not that much more. Maybe $20. Again, reasonable. If someone gives me a rate like that, I'm happy about it. I'll probably buy your product. But when you try to, just pardon my language, but you're trying to fuck me over, and you're doing things like, hey, I want 35 for shipping, or I want 40 for the shipping. I was on eBay tonight looking just at random figures, like I was sorting them highest to lowest value, and there's like some in there that are very expensive, like $1,000+ stuff. Again, understandable if it's hard to come by, it's rare, whatever. But don't ask for another $600 for shipping. $600. What are you doing? Are you going to take a cab to the airport, put your fat ass on an airplane, 2 seats, mind you, because you're a fat fuck, and you're going to fly to my house and drop it right here at my front door, shake my hand, and have a great day? I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I don't think you're going to do that. Are you going to take it and put it in a Pelican case? And if you don't know what a Pelican case is, that's basically like those metal boxes that you see in the movies where they're carrying like all the stacks of cash, or they got the bag of diamonds or some shit. Are you doing that? Because those cases I know are expensive, about $300 for a case, at least a good sized one. Are you doing that? No, I don't think you are. You're gonna give me a fucking box from your liquor mart or from the grocery store, and you're gonna put some old crumpled up fucking newspaper around it, and you're gonna ship it for $30 or $20 or whatever it is, and you're gonna charge me $600. Motherfucker, don't do that. If you want more money for the figure, ask for more money. Let's be reasonable. If it's valued at $1,000, then ask for $1,000 for the figure and 20 or 30 or whatever it is for the shipping that it costs, within reason. Do not ask for $1,000 for the figure and then there's $600 to try and fool someone, or like I don't know if anybody who's watching this sells, but if you do and you do that kind of shit, you're a piece of shit. I just said it. You're a piece of shit. I don't like you very much. So don't do that. That's ugly. It's underhanded and it's disgusting. So I feel better. I feel better. It's very cleansing to get that off my chest. I I don't like that kind of crap. So I avoid it, but someone's gonna get caught eventually, or I'm sure they have. Just that's rant over. I'm done ranting about shipping costs, but I do want to just really talk about real quickly about an experience I had today. I did my very first hot topic store opening, get there before they're gone kind of situations. Number one, I'm dumb. Thought the store opened at 9. Does not open at 9. Opens at 10 a.m. So I got to sit there an extra hour. That was stupid. But while I was sitting there, I had time to contemplate some things in life, and that was valuable. But about half an hour before the store opened, I saw Mr. Uncle Funko himself, Arnell. He came over, and I guess he had seen my posting. I was the only one there, and he figured, oh, this schlub over here, this must be Darren, the guy who mentioned he was all by himself. So he came over and introduced himself, and really nice guy. Like, I've seen a couple of his videos already. Um, that's a guy who cares about the community, guy who's doing what he can to help out. And he was super helpful to me today. Helped me pick out my Notorious Pop, and they actually had another one that was not expected to be there, and I got that too, so that was great. So he taught me some things about, how to pick one, like a nice box and all kind of stuff. And stuff I didn't really look at before. I look, like if it was torn, I'm not buying it, but you know, just little things to look for, the plastic and all that kind of stuff, corners, and yeah, it was nice. It was really nice of him to give me that information. He didn't have to do anything. He could have told me to, piss up a rope or whatever, or take a long walk off a short pier, but he didn't. That's a nice guy. And I appreciate that, and I want to shout him out right away. Thank you, Uncle Funko. That was super solid of you, buddy. Uh, also, I'll mention Mr. Rob. Mr. Rob, I'm watching you, buddy. I'm watching you. Yeah, he tried to get me to go with the hot topic at 7:30 in the morning. Sir, you are a snake. You are a snake, sir. Fool me once. Well, you didn't fool me, but you know how the saying goes. You're not gonna get me. So I'm pretty smart. So, yeah, so far I've only been in this community for a couple weeks on Facebook, and so far you guys have been really great, really hospitable, and helpful. Appreciate that, and hopefully, I can help some way and help a little bit, doing these little shows or whatever, and do my little part to move the hobby along. Yeah, it's I think that'll be the first show. I think it's a nice way to end it with some positivity. Let's all be positive, Yeah, go pick up some garbage and help an old lady across the street. And when you're at the grocery store, don't take a plastic bag. Think of your children. Yeah. So yeah, that was nice. So thanks again to everybody, and I guess I'm gonna end it there. I feel better. I feel better. So good. Have yourself a great night, everybody. Popping off.